We know that some days when you sit down to sew, nothing goes right. We're working with the Husqvarna Viking Onyx 30 and going through helpful information about the stitches, the machine, the functions, the thread, the threading, and how to use all the parts and pieces to be successful. Hi, I'm Sarah from sewingmastery.com, and we have a complete playlist here on YouTube of free video tutorials on this machine and many other sewing machines, embroidery machines, and sergers. But like I said, there are days when things just go wrong. And let me break it down to a few things that could be helpful when this happens to you. So a sewing machine is that one appliance. That's not really an appliance, is it? It is a tool that has to have everything threaded correctly. You have to have thread that's appropriate for the fabric. You have to have fabric that's appropriate for the needle, and vice versa. And then we have the techniques that you're doing, whether you're sewing a garment, whether that fabric is stretchy, whether you're doing decorative stitches and don't have the right stabilizer. Those are all things that we have covered within these free video tutorials. We also have online courses that can help you go even further than the manual and help you learn more uses for the stitches and accessory feet that are available for this machine. Okay, so here's a couple top items that we get questioned all the time. So number one, when you're sewing along, if you hear just that machine is growling at you, it's kind of grabbing your fabric, you come back to you get it out of the machine and there's a lot of loops and threads underneath. Well, one of the things that happens is that when you thread the machine, number one, when you thread the machine, you should always have the presser foot up. So if it's not up when you're threading it, there is a path right here, this first groove. Inside here are tension discs. So it's not a tension problem. It's actually more of an operator error problem, and it means you didn't threaded the machine right. So when you thread the machine down through this area, you need to thread it with purpose. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll thread the machine and then kind of do a floss back and forth. I'm making sure the thread seats all the way down into the tension discs. Then the way to check after you've threaded the needle is to lower the presser foot. And right now, if I pull, that needle is bending. It's tight right now. And that proves that the thread is currently deep enough in the tension disc for me to sew, and then I won't get those hairy loops. But if I was to lower the presser foot, and it has very easy way I can pull that thread out, that means the thread is not where it needs to go. You start to sew, and there's not resistance, so those loops happen. And it happens on the underneath side of the fabric. So a lot of times people go in, and they think it's a bobbin issue. But we just learned that it's actually a top thread issue. Well, if you're rethreading the top because you've had troubles, it's also a good idea to rethread the bobbin. Make sure the bobbin is spinning the correct way, because if it's spinning the opposite way, it actually can affect the way you're stitching. So rethread this, rethread the top. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you can even just start by turning off and turning it back on. Okay, so that's more just going to fix some electronics, but it's like a computer. Sometimes just turn it off, turn it back on. Rethread the machine. Go get a glass of water and look out the window. Okay, so that adjusts your eyes, gives you a second to breathe and lower the stress level. Come back and let's see if that has helped. The next two things are also as important as rethreading. Having a new needle in. So if this needle has a little burr on the end of it, that's going to cause issues in your stitching. Sometimes you'll stitch and the thread will break, or you'll get some stitches that don't look so great, maybe some loopy stitches. There's all sorts of things that can happen when you don't have a new needle, or a needle that's appropriate for the fabric. So if you're unsure, maybe you're working on some fleece fabric, just Google it. Google which needle should I use for fleece fabric, or for knit fabric, or for denim. Those are all needles that need to be selected for the type of fabric. The next thing is, and we dedicated a whole entire video to it, is cleaning underneath this throat plate. So linty thread, linty fabric, with batting. There's just a lot of lint that will gather underneath this. So you and I, after 3 to 5 bobbins, should take these screws out, take the plate off, and clean out down below. Don't blow into the machine. That puts all that lint further in. No, don't do that. So we just want to take the brush. We want to bring it out of the machine. If you have a little vacuum cleaner that can suck it out, that's even greater. So just clean it out, and then, of course, make sure you put it back together the way we show you to, so everything is positioned correctly to stitch, and see if that will help as you go. Now, if it's been over a year since you've had your machine professionally cleaned at your local sewing machine store, it could be time. If you do a lot of sewing, once a year is kind of a minimum. If it's been a couple years, maybe this machine has sat in a closet. That's another problem that can happen, is actually all the oil dries out because it's not being used. It'd be like a car sitting in the garage for like 3 years, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to travel to the other side of the state. No, you'd probably want to do a little maintenance, have an oil change, and make sure all the fluids are topped off. That's kind of the same thing for a sewing machine. So it's not as fancy as a car, but it operates pretty much the same way. If you do not have a Husqvarna Viking store in your area, you will find that a lot of stores that have other brands of sewing machines have technicians on staff that actually work on all brands of machines. So go visit them, see what they offer for services, and it's okay if this is serviced by somebody that you didn't buy the machine from. So if they have a full service department like we do, we carry a handful of sewing machine brands, but we can service all brands of machines. So that is something that we do at our own retail store. And I know there's lots of stores across the United States and in other countries that offer that same service. So just talk to them, see what they're capable of doing, and see if you've got a place in your area that you can kind of use them as your service center. So quality thread is the last thing I'm going to kind of give you some hints about. There is a difference between threads. If you're buying a 50-pack of thread online and it's only $20, I'm going to tell you that's not the greatest quality of thread, and the machine is going to kind of balk at it. Remember, your thread is 50% of your seam, so you don't want to be using low-quality thread. It's not going to hold together. It's also going to make your sewing machine not operate as smooth as possible. So maybe try a different brand of thread, try a newer spool of thread, and see if your sewing machine reacts a little bit differently. I've had customers tell me that they changed the thread and it was like a whole new machine. Sometimes thread that's a little bit coarser because it's less expensive just makes the machine sound louder. And it's not like it's bad thread, it's just when you use smoother thread, it's a smoother experience. So there is a difference in threads. So usually too, same thing, at a local sewing machine store, they will recommend some thread that works. And so take their advice. Maybe it's a brand you're not familiar with, but they sell it. Give it a try and see if that helps your situation. And the more thread you try, you're going to find what works in your machine. And then you'll know for future that there is a difference. So threads, needles, cleaning, you and I doing our cleaning every couple bobbins, having it serviced on a regular basis, and just making sure we're threading the machine correctly. So go back to our video where we show you how to thread the machine and wind the bobbin, and because I give some tips on some things that can make a difference there. So hopefully these tips have helped. If any of our videos have been helpful for you, make sure you're clicking the like button and as a way to say thank you. And also we'd love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That just helps us be able to create more videos on more machines for more people. Happy sewing!